Nobody from my family came to my wedding. Weeks later, Dad texted, "Need $8,400 for your brother's wedding." I sent $1 with best wishes, then told my wife to change the locks. Then Dad showed up with cops, 37 guests, every single one from my wife's side. I had sent invitations to 14 family members, my parents, my brother, 3 aunts, 2 uncles, a handful of cousins. Not one showed. No last-minute texts, no voicemails. Just empty chairs with little name cards no one ever touched. The reason? My family did not approve of my wife. Wrong background, wrong religion, and most importantly, not the woman my father had chosen for me. He had a plan for my life. I deviated, so he made sure I felt it. I held it together during the ceremony. My wife was breathtaking. The people who showed up made the room feel full. But every time I glanced at those empty chairs, something tightened in my chest I could not name. 2 weeks later, my phone buzzed. "Since you kept the guest list small and saved money on our plates, that savings goes toward your brother's venue deposit. Need $8,400 transferred by Friday. Do not embarrass the family." I read it twice, set the phone down, picked it up again. I opened my banking app, navigated to his account, the same one I had sent money to a dozen times for car repairs and emergencies, and typed the amount. $1. Memo line. "Best wishes to the happy couple." I hit send. Then I called a locksmith. My parents had a spare key to our house. I had given it to my mother 3 years earlier for emergencies. Standing in my kitchen after reading that text, I decided that era was over. What I had not told my wife yet, what I had been sitting on for 2 years, was that my father's name had once been on our mortgage. When we bought the house, my credit was not quite where the bank needed it. My father co-signed. He made it seem generous. He made a lot of things seem generous that were not. But 18 months later, he came to me panicked. A lawsuit over a failed business deal. His lawyer told him any property bearing his name could be seized. He needed off the title immediately. I handled the paperwork. Quitclaim deed. He signed it without reading past the first line. I had it recorded with the county clerk that same week. The lawsuit went nowhere. He forgot the whole thing ever happened and never asked to be put back on. I never reminded him. On Saturday morning, I looked out the front window and saw my father's truck at the curb with a sheriff's cruiser behind it. Something settled in my stomach. Not panic. Something closer to calm. My father was on the lawn talking to a deputy, gesturing at the house. My mother stood a few feet behind him, staring at the ground. I stepped onto the porch. "There he is," my father said, pointing at me. "Change the locks on a property I co-signed for. I have every legal right to enter. This is my asset." The deputy looked at me. "Is his name on the title?" "He co-signed the mortgage years ago," I said, "but I have documentation that may be relevant. Can I grab it from inside?" I went to the fireproof safe in the closet, found the folder labeled house, pulled the quitclaim deed, stamped, notarized, recorded with the county, and walked back out. I handed it to the deputy. My father reached for it. The deputy stepped back and read carefully. He checked the notary seal. He checked the recording stamp. Then he looked up at my father with an expression that had completely changed. "Mr. Miller, is this your signature?" 4 emotions crossed his face in 2 seconds. "That was temporary. We did it for legal reasons. It was never meant to be permanent. Recorded documents are the only thing that matters legally," the deputy said evenly. "According to this, you have no ownership interest in this property. You are not a tenant, not a resident, and not authorized to enter." He looked at me. "Do you want him trespassed?" "Yes," I said. My father stared at me, not with rage, not yet, with something closer to disbelief, like he had genuinely never considered that I might have quietly prepared for this exact moment. "You did this on purpose," he said. "You signed the deed," I said. "I just kept the copy." The deputy asked him to leave. My mother tugged his sleeve. He shook her off, held my eyes one final second, then walked to his truck. I went inside. My wife was in the hallway, phone still raised. She had been filming the whole thing. "Is it done?" she asked. "For today," I said. She handed me a coffee. We stood in the kitchen without talking. Outside, the street was quiet again. The chairs at our wedding had been empty. The house was still ours. And the man who thought he could walk in and out of my life whenever it suited him had just been escorted off my property by the cops he called himself. I checked my banking app one more time. The $1 transfer had cleared. Best wishes to the happy couple.